Ready to get this party started? That's my techno beat. All right, let's get this party started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our September 8th. I'm already thinking, I'm so far ahead in the future right now. September 8th Governing Board meeting. Let me get my stuff together here really quick. Please let the minutes show that we have all 5 board members current and present and accounted for. Are there any changes to the agenda this evening?
Good evening, President Martinez. No, there are not.
All right. With that, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll second.
All right. Ms. Smith, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Bartels, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Pimentel, how do you vote?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Thank you. Please join me in a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. All right, we do have a call to the public this morning, I'm sorry, it's been a long day. We've been at conference for the past 2 days. We have a call to the public this afternoon, so just one moment. The public is invited to address the board on any issue within its jurisdiction, subject to reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions. Governing board members are not permitted to discuss or take legal action on matters raised during open call to the public unless the matters are properly noticed for discussion and legal action. However, the law permits board members to do the following at the conclusion of open call to the public. A, respond to criticism made by those who have addressed the board. B, ask staff to review a matter. Or C, ask that a matter be put on a future agenda. Those wishing to address the board should complete a call to the public form and submit it to the board secretary prior to the start of the meeting. Each speaker will be provided 3 minutes to address the board, unless provided other direction by the board. At the outset of the speaker's remark, the speaker should state his or her name. Ms. Margot Del Rosario.
Good evening, Ms. Sakota Jones and board members. My name is Margot Del Rosario. I live in Glendale. Sorry. I come to you with compliments. First, I'd like to say I was happy to be a part of the Horizon staff at the beginning of the school year. When we had a power outage for about 2.5 hours, and we had the meeting, I believe, the next day, Principal Balder was very, very proud how everybody just acted as a team. We kept the children calm, safe, and busy. Another praise I have is regarding Burton. I was at Burton one day last week, and we had a fire practice, and I was very happy to hear such a soft alarm. It wasn't really very, real loud like a lot of them are, so it was very pleasant to the ears, and the staff did a good job at it. Okay. Last Friday was the professional development day in this district, so I worked on one of my other districts. I helped in Alhambra, and I hadn't been there in a while, and I was reassured to see that they had a security guard at the one school I went to. They were happy to see me, as any school would be, since there's such a shortage of substitutes. I know lockdowns will continue, and I've experienced many lockdown practices, and 1 or 2 of the real things, so I think all schools really do a good job on that. Let's see, any training added, of course, can always help us to learn to have the mindset of what if. And I added that because about 5-6 years ago, I stopped volunteering on the weekend at a hospital, local hospital, and we had a policeman come in for a short time. There was maybe just, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15 volunteers. And he added a few extra just common sense items. And I was happy to be a part of that. So we can always carry the what if attitude with us, even in the outside world, of course, whether it's the Dollar Tree or Bitsy Mamas. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right, moving on our agenda, moving to special recognition. Ms. Sagata Jones.
Yes, President Martinez, members of the board, if we'll step down, we'll begin those recognitions. So for those that are new, let me transition down. Okay. For those that are joining us for the first time this evening, what we do in Glendale each month, we randomly select a student in the district and an employee of the district, and we do it just because. We do that because we want our community and our employees to know that we appreciate that you have chosen Glendale Elementary School District as your place for employment and your place to be educated. So that's why we do it just because. We're able to do that because through our Gusto Foundation. Gusto gives us the funds in which we can provide just some giveaways to our students and to our staff. Each student, each staff receives a $50 gift certificate from somewhere. We try to do local businesses to support our local communities. And then when you're honored here, then we have some other surprises for you as well. So that's just because, and it truly is, we honor you just because. So when I call your name, if you'll come up, I'll ask the recipients to come up first, and then we'll do photos with the families as well, okay? And I believe everyone is in attendance. So we're going to begin with August, and the first, just because, was for our employee, Elise Anderson. She's an educational assistant at Desert Garden Preschool. So Elise, if you'll come up. Christy, would you join as well? And you can go.
But you only get one of each item.
It's not trick-or-treating.
Yep.
But you're going to be
Right in here for photos. And so, because this is new for us this year, I'm going to steal these, but I will give them back.
Okay.
So this year we're doing a new award, and it says, it's this way for you to read. It's just because here in Glendale we are a mosaic of minds. So this is just because. And then also you get a yard sign. I know your address. I'll drive by tonight to make sure it's up. So please do that. And then also with our local business with Soretta Candy, they've made a mold of chocolate, and it has the GSD logo on there. And it's diet, calorie-free. And then, so they say. And then also here in Glendale, you know, it's always about kindness and treating each other with kindness. And in Glendale this year, we've decided that kindness is the new cool. And so we have colors of kindness for you. The reason for this is because coloring is great therapy for all ages. So we want to give these to you, and each of these colors means something. So the yellow crayon means hello, sunshine, and it's actually not yellow on this one, it's cray yellow, okay? And then there's one that's called a cool mint, and it is peace of mind. And then there's one that is called powder blue, and it's sky's the limit. And then there's one that is oatmeal, and it's a warm hug. So as you color, and then you can send me those as well. That would be great. So let's take pictures with Elise, and then we'll start with the next. So, Christy, come on. Thank you. Thank you, Elise. Thank you so much. Thank you. When I went into Desert Garden to surprise Elise with her gift card, she was she was working and she had on an apron, but it wasn't her real name. I think she borrowed somebody's apron, and so she was covering it up. But she was, it was quite funny. At least I didn't call her by the wrong name tonight. All right, next we have our student, and our student is a third grade student from Sunset Vista, and Mia Ruiz. Mia, would you come up, please? You can go down that way, Mia. When I go to the schools, we don't go into class. We call the students up to the front office. And Mia came up a little bit nervous. She's very quiet and shy, but she was very excited to get her gift card. She was so well-mannered, thank you. She said she was just happy and excited and couldn't wait to get it home and show her family. So Mia, we're very proud of you. We'll have her family, mom and brothers, come on up. Brothers, we have crayons and candy for you too. Come on up, brothers. Are they your brothers? Right. I just gave her two brothers. Huh. Her aunt. What? Oh, the dad? We're waiting for Dad in the parking lot. You know men, they're always late. Come on up. Hi, Mia's dad. I was just telling everybody how wonderful you were. Great. See? There's Dad. Come on up. Come on up with Mia. All right. Okay, Mia, you can display that at your home or somewhere or in your bedroom, okay? Thank you so much. Okay, next we'll begin with September, and our first employee was our dual language teacher from William C. Jack, Patricia Norton. Patricia, come on up. Patricia when I came into her, I went into her classroom and she was lining all the kids up. She was quite impressed. I actually spoke to them in Spanish, didn't I? Yeah. She says, oh, Spanish. And I said, oh, great, you recognized it. So that's great. Ann, come on up, Becky.
Now, for the picture, you're going to want to turn this.
Yeah, there.
This side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Just because.
Because that I know is both sides, so.
There we go. No. No, Alba. Is Alba here? No.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. And now we have our student, and our student is a 5th grader from Don Menzendick, Joy Murray. Joy, come on up. When I went to Menzendick, Joy came up to the front office. We do that because we want to think the kids are in trouble. They always think that, but they're not. So we want them to think the office isn't somewhere you come for trouble. It's somewhere where you get awarded. So she came up. Joy came up. She was, come on up, Mom. She was quiet the whole time. She stood there very politely. She accepted her gift certificate. She accepted everything. I told her she was coming to the board meeting. She didn't say anything. And I asked her, I asked if she spoke. She said yes. By doing this, she didn't say anything. But then we were standing there, and then Miss Voice was there with me. And where are you? Where's me? There, she was there. And so she was going to go back to the classroom, and we give them the $50 gift certificate. And so Miss Voice and Miss Yazzie said, we will keep this for you, and you can get it after school, but you have your certificate that says you got just because. Would you like us to keep that, or would you like to go show it off in your classroom? She spoke. Show it off, she said. So very proud of you, Joy, and we're so happy that you're part of Glendale. And Mom, you stand by her and let's take some pictures. Joy, are you going to say something tonight? No? Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you to our families for coming out, to our staffs for coming out. This is such an exciting time for us when we do the Just Because Awards. And, you know, I do have your addresses. I'm driving by. Put those signs up, all right? Thank you so much for being here. And families, you're welcome to stay, but, you know, it's a long day for kids at school, so if you need to go and eat dinner, we understand, all right? Thank you so much for being here.
Bill.
Hey, Bill, this is Glendale Elementary calling into the board meeting.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Sagata-Jones, for awarding, giving out those just because. It's something for doing nothing, and sometimes you don't have to do anything for good things to happen to you. So congratulations, everybody. Moving on to the consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda that a member would like to have pulled for discussion? All right. Hearing none, is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Make a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
I'll second.
All right. Ms. Smith, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Bartels, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Pimentel, how do you vote?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you. Moving on to reports and information items. New regulation JLDAB-R.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board, this is just an information item regarding the referral to other agencies that was presented last time from Dr. Lafitte. He can answer any questions or give an update on that. Dr. Lafitte?
Are there any specific questions that members of the board have?
I have a question. And you're going to hate us because, you know, you sent us to a law conference and this was on there. Do we have a system in place for those families that opt in? Because I know we need to be very, very careful now with the regulations, the legislation that's changed.
So, President Martinez, Board Member Bartels. So right now, we currently do have several agencies at some of our campuses around the district. So with those specific campuses, we do have processes where parents, usually from the cells work with families. Parents opt in to receive additional services for those students. With this, we just have to make sure we post it and communicate it so that all families are aware of what those processes are that we have.
Okay, and then do they get a copy of the survey 7 days in? Because that was something that was mentioned.
So, President Martinez, Board Member Bartels, this is a little bit different because for this survey, it actually doesn't generate from us. The survey itself, and through this regulation, it shows, or through the exhibit, it shows what the questions are, but the survey itself is disseminated by Access. Okay. Access, we send them to a link. They respond to that link, but it's actually generated by Access, data is collected by Access, and that's uploaded to the state through Access.
Okay. I just want to make sure after, you know, all those lovely changes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I have a question too. In the event that a child is referred to the behavioral site, does that information follow them? If they were to go to a different district or a different state, would that information follow?
So, President Martinez, Board Member Wilson, that information is held by that agency. So, example, if they work with Southwest Behavioral, that specific agency works with them and their family. That's where that parent permission piece comes in. And so we don't maintain that information because it's not us directly working with that student, but it's that agency.
And we don't keep records that this child was referred, you know, by the district?
So, President Martinez, Board Member Smith, that information we do communicate or we do document. So as a district, what we do is whenever a student is referred, it's typically because either we've seen some things at the school site and there's some data or information that moves us in that direction to recommend that referral. then we'll document that on our end that student is recommended for services or services are being offered by. However, the services that are offered to the student, that's not documented, or what's provided within those services. But what we document is that we referred them for that. So it's just as anything we do, whether it's for special education, interventions, anything else, those things are documented through our systems.
I actually found it interesting today, about, how you have to, be careful, about, what records, that we keep, and that, you wouldn't say, oh, we're going to do whatever, this place, and it can help someone, be found if, they're like in a, whatever, say like a domestic violence or custody type of issues. So, yeah, it sounds like, these have been well thought through.
And that's why we go to law conferences. Everything is continually changing. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, Dr. Lafitte. We'll move on to the action item. Our first action item, school improvement bonds for the project of 2018 Series C. Ms. Sagata-Jones.
Yes, President Martinez, members of the board. At this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Mike Berrigan.
Mr. President, members of the board, the item before you is the last sale of the $35 million that the taxpayers approved back in November of 2018. There's two main reasons why we believe that we'd like to sell bonds. The first one is the increase in interest rates. Secondly is the increase in supply and demand. And so what we wanted to do is making sure that we had the funds necessary to meet the needs of the district. As you guys have well pointed out in the past, just the growing cost of whatever item we might be discussing. And so we want to be able to address some of the projects that you are aware of, that we've talked about, and just have the cash on hand and making sure that we're trying to reduce any ongoing interest rate increases. So this item is before you to make that decision should you choose to. Just so that you know, we do have legal counsel on the line, Jim Gill, which you are all familiar with, Gus Rosenfeld, we have Bill Davis with Piper Sandler, and then we have Erica here in person with Piper Sandler as well, should you have any questions that would be more appropriate for them to address. But with that, Mr. President, members of the board, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions from the board? Okay. Hearing none, is there a motion to adopt?
I'll make a motion to adopt the school improvement bonds project of 2018 Series C.
I'll second.
All right. Ms. Smith, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Bartels, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Pimentel, how do you vote?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. All right, moving on to our next action item, new policy first reading for policy JLDAB. Ms. Sagata-Jones.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board, on JLDABR is referrals to other agencies, the community-based behavioral health providers, parental consent, and surveys, as Dr. Lafitte has referenced. So, Dr. Lafitte, any other?
Superintendent Sagata-Jones, this is just the policy itself for those supporting documents that we referenced earlier, the exhibit and the regulation. So with these documents, or with this policy, it's just what it establishes what we need to do to create the processes and policies, which is our next steps in this process.
And it does address in here the opt-in policy for these surveys for the parents. So, are there any other questions regarding this policy? All right, hearing none, is there a motion to adopt the first reading of this policy?
I'll move to adopt the first reading of policy JLDAB as presented.
Second.
All right, Ms. Smith, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Bartels, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Pimentel, how do you vote?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. All right, moving on. Future meetings and events. Ms. Sagata Jones, are there any changes to the upcoming schedules?
No, at this time, I believe not. What we want to look at is the study session, I believe, is scheduled for September 22nd to discuss strategic plan update. So we would like to propose that that study session start earlier.
What day is that? September 22nd.
Upon looking at the board self-evaluation for the 27th, I will not be here, so I don't know if we want to maybe
If we want to move October 27th, then, okay, let's look at moving that one. Can we put that for November? Well, we're going to go into, can we move it up to October 6th then, or do you want to put it November 17th?
I won't be here October 6th.
Okay, so let's do,
And your evaluation will be horrible.
Well-
I could.
on the 22nd. September 22nd, it could go next time, I guess, after the study session? Or do you want to move it to later?
later.
So the deadline on that is the October 30th,
Oh, we almost have to then, yeah.
so we're going to have to do it
Then it's going to have to be September 22nd.
September 22nd, if we're
Okay.
all going to be here.
So the study session will be at what time?
My calendar's open. Do you want to go as early as 3:30 or 4?
We can do early.
Is there anyone that has a conflict? No? How about you, Ms. Sagata?
No, that's fine.
What do we think, 3:30?
Should be fine.
Okay, and we'll change the date for the September 22nd meeting for the study session start at 3:30, followed by a meeting where we will have our board self-evaluation. Okay, are there any other changes?
Not at this time.
Okay. Moving on, the summary of current events. Ms. Sagata Jones, tell us what's good.
Yes, just a couple things real quick. Art display in the back, please look at it. It's from Horizon and Burton. We appreciate the work that they're doing. Again, we're attending ASBA Law Conference. I'll join you again tomorrow for great learning there. This Saturday, Hejma from our historical downtown Glendale Merchants Association. It's their annual Teddy Bear Day, Saturday, September the 10th, and that's where they collect this. You can do a donation of a stuffed bear that goes to the paramedics, and then those bears are what are used when the paramedics go out to use as comfort for families and students or children that are in crisis. So I'll be participating in that. That's always a fun event. So if you have time, stop downtown Glendale for that. Also, I want to point out that we have a partnership with Luke Air Force Base, and they have their directory that comes up annually, and then we do have a huge ad in there about come to Glendale for your best education possible for your students. So we're excited about that. That happened for us. And then also a lot of excitement going on here today, this morning. I want to thank those that put that together. Adriana, thank you so much. That was a lot of work. And then also Shannon Gleave and Mike Berrigan. What we did today was a partnership with Gen Youth. Gen Youth is working with the NFL for the Super Bowl committee, and Mission 57 is what they focus on. So 57 schools across the state of Arizona are going to receive these food carts that are grab-and-go carts for breakfast. So we had one cart that was at Smith School and we used that was successful. It's to increase breakfast participation with our students. So the kids can go up in the cart, they can grab, there's milk there, there's cheese there, there's granola bars, there's a little cereal. So it's a grab and go. Through the partnerships with Gen Youth, Mission 57, and Fry's, we will receive more carts for our schools to use. So that's exciting. What happened today was we brought in the superintendent's Student Advisory Council. So we had 26 students here today that were very excited because really the focus is on the importance of eating well, a good breakfast. And, you know, we want to fuel your mind. In order to fuel your mind, we do that through feeding them so they'll perform. We know there's a high correlation between nutrition and academic performance. So we wanted to talk to them about that. They were very, very excited to be here. They also were so excited when former football player Drew Stanton was here, and he was the backup quarter to Palmer for the Cardinals. He stayed the entire time, and he did autographs for all the students. They got little footballs that he autographed for them. There's pictures of them that he took. He engaged with them. It was such a great thing for the kids. They were very excited. They probably never ate so much in one day than they did today. When they came in, because they arrived here this morning, we gave them granola bars. Some of them did try to take my candy bars, but we didn't let them have those. But because Shannon was watching me, but they had granola bars, and then after that, we brought them in, and then they got something from the grab and go cereal cart, and then we fed them pizza, and then we sent them back to school. So principals, thank you for that. But it was wonderful. They were so excited. We had a little bit of gap time, so Miss Valadez turned into teaching mode. She made them take out their autograph books, and she made them write something, journal about one of the experience they had today. So she had, I don't know what else she was doing in the back, but Norma just said Debbie is in teacher mode, and I just let it be. So it was great. So it was great. But it was a wonderful event. Great partnerships were here. We had the mayor was here, the chamber was here. There were so many people here, I can't remember. It was going live on Channel 3 this morning. It should be on 3 and 11 or 10, 3 and 10. And they're telling me 10 also. So it was very exciting for us. And it just puts our name out there in Glendale. I did announce that we were voted the #1 school district in the heart of Glen 3 years in a row. And so I'm always going to promote that. But it was such a wonderful event, and the NFL spoke with Mike and I and said that they would be inviting us to the NFL other events happening that support Glendale, and anything they could do to help promote our students, they're willing to do that. And then also, just one more thing I do want to announce. I know that I want to say to staff and I want to say to teachers and administrators, all staff members, classified staff members, I appreciate the work that you do every day. And I know it's hard work, and I know these are times where we're declining with our enrollment. We have a substitute in the audience today. Thank you for being part of Glendale. We appreciate that. I know it's difficult out there. We've had challenges this week. We had 3 challenges this day with administrators that you had to deal with, and I appreciate what you do. I met with the teacher organization the other day. They're doing a remarkable job as well, and the communication has been wonderful. I want to really state that I understand the need for the increase in salaries. I understand that more than anybody. Also know that that is something that this board does not shy away from. This administration does not shy away from. We do not make excuses. We show you the facts. We know what the facts are. We know what has contributed to the decline in enrollments. We know why our salaries are where they're at. And once we look at those facts, then we'll sit down, as we did last board meeting with a decompression study, and begin to tackle how can we begin to increase these salaries and compete with other districts. Those are not excuses. That's a fact. There's a study session next week. We'll talk about the strategic plan. We asked that strategic plan to be held after we had the decompression study, so we begin to address some of the challenges that we have. We will address them. We did not come to declining enrollment overnight. That was years in the making. There's still a decline. We've seen a bump in some years, and others we have not. Teacher shortage in Glendale is not new to Glendale. All the way back from 2014 till now, there's been an average of 167 new teachers every year. We need to work on that and work on retention. We will do that. We will come out ahead. We appreciate what you do every day, and we are working diligently to find ways in which we can increase pay and put that in the base. With that, next Tuesday, we will employees will receive the average of a 10% stipend. We know that is not in the base. If we could put that in the base, 9%, sorry. Well, you know, Mr. Bergen, if you can make it 10, please. But a 9% increase, into the base, we would do that. That is not sustainable for us at this time. So that's why we're doing it into a stipend. We've been able to do that every year since 2014. There has been an increase in pay since 2014. I understand it's not in the base. We are working towards that, and we are committed to that. So with that, I will end my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Smith, do you have anything to share with us today?
Well, as you heard, we've all been attending the law conference, and it's always a good way to be educated as board members. And we're just grateful for the opportunity to continually learn. We learn just as our students learn. And I just want to, I guess, echo some of the words that Ms. Sakata Jones said. I just want you to know that I'm grateful to all the organizations out there that support the children. It's just not today. We see it, Stuff the Bus with Kiwanis, or when they, take the kids shopping. There's just so many organizations that, donate to the school district. And, I think that, there's nothing better than service, and it's good for mental health, to be able to just do kind things. And I just hope that we all can just always remember to just do kind things on a daily basis. That's it.
All right, thank you. Ms. Wilson.
At the beginning of our conference this morning, we were given a rundown, an update and a history of the capital lawsuit. And so we are one of the lead plaintiffs in this lawsuit, which is so very important. And so I just want to give a shout out to Mr. Berrigan and his team for your diligence in this very important matter. And then just a big thank you to those of you working out in the heat. Next couple of days are going to be nice, but I see it's coming back again next week. So take care of yourselves, and thank you for taking such good care of our kids and our buildings.
All right, Ms. Bartels.
Well, the last 2.5 years, basically, we've all been living a trauma-filled life, and there's just no excuse or escape from that. But now we're finally getting to that point where we can, instead of living in that constant reactionary realm, we can now finally start actually delving into those things so that we can start to do the positive changes that we need to do to improve our district. Thank you all for hanging in there. There's so many of us that have been just trying to make it through, and we are getting through it. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pimentel.
I'd like to echo all the same sentiments. Thank you, everybody, for being here and for treating our kids as your own, and for taking care of them, and for all of your diligent work. We realize how hard you work. We realize how much of your own hearts you pour into everything you do. And I just want to echo everything everyone said. And thank you to Drew Stanton, because I remember being a kid and meeting somebody like him, and that kind of really impacts you. So thank you to Drew Stanton. Thank you to the Arizona Cardinals. And let's just keep going. Be safe.
All right. Thank you again to the Arizona Cardinals for coming out, for putting all that effort in. I mean, I just want everyone, I've had this jersey for like 8 years now, so I didn't have to go buy anything today. So I'm just saying that. But it's a great experience to have local organizations like that really kind of invest in what's going on in the school districts. And just a glimpse into the day that the five of us have had at the ASBA Law Conference. And it's not like a travel conference. It's down at Desert Ridge at a hotel. No, not Desert Ridge. No, Camelback Inn. Yeah. I don't know. It's like way the heck out that way. It's like an hour to get there from here. It is full day. We had a couple keynote speakers. We had a little documentary that we screened. Then we had a bunch of workshops to choose from. And I was happy to see that as a board, we took special pains to say, hey, which session are you going to? And say, okay, I will go to a different one then. So we just kind of spread ourselves out. So you never saw us all in the same session at the same time. we all kind of split up. That way we can get the most out of that conference that we can. So that was really cool seeing people kind of split out like that. And every session, I believe, offered a wealth of information that will benefit not only us as board members, but we can bring that back to the district and try to help the district move forward. So that's what the past 2 days have been. That's what tomorrow will be. And for some of us, that's what Saturday will be. So you won't be learning. You'll be learning. God, I hate people. I hate hanging around so many people. But thank you all for participating and going and really taking it seriously and being there to take part in all those workshops.
I just want to know, President Martinez, were they really separated or you were just separated?
Most of it.
I never thought of that, but is that why you guys were smiling?
I went one
Fine,
by
then.
myself.
You know what? I'm not carpooling with you again.
They follow
All right.
me.
With all the slings and arrows. With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
A move to adjourn?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.